There are two or three things I wish to bring to your attention this morning. First of all, the All Souls Day envelopes are available already this year. Some of you have asked for blessed candles. We put a box of blessed candles out the back of the church this morning. They are blessed. If you wish to make a donation for them, you certainly may, but be very, very careful. You are donating to this place. You are not buying a candle, because we cannot sell a blessed object. You are definitely, I repeat that, you are not buying a blessed object. If you are, you're going to make a donation, and that is that, and then take a candle afterwards. But don't do the two simultaneously if you can avoid it. Tuesday of this week is the feast of St. Michael the Archangel, and I consider this a very great day. Of course, it's the feast day of our Father Michael, but beside the fact that it is the feast day of our Father Michael, it still remains a great day. Now, pray to St. Michael. Pray to St. Michael. If anyone can fight the dragon, St. Michael can. Ask him to get busy and fight the dragon. Saturday of this week is the feast of St. Teresa of Lisieux. As you know, St. Teresa and St. Joseph are the patronal feasts of this church. Therefore, it is a first-class feast day. I am not putting it in the bulletin for all the reasons that all of you know, but on October the 4th, October the 7th, which is a Wednesday, there's going to be an ordination in this church. Those of you who have received the speculum have heard and read about a Mr. John Schroer. He is an 88-year-old gentleman. Some of you have seen him here. For nearly 50 years, this man has been on an odyssey to become a priest. And due to war and due to double talk and due to this and due to that, he has not made it. And he's been in the highest places and still has never made it. And by the grace of God, we were able to do this for this man. And this man is going to be ordained a priest at last. Now, the ceremony is going to trying to move an 88-year-old man, and be careful about the rubrics and the liturgy of the affair is going to be a task. So those of you that do attend, if things do not move smoothly, please understand all the reasons why. But pray for him. He is leaving for Fatima the very next day, and he hopes to say Mass, if they will allow him, in Fatima. Let's see, he's going to be ordained on Wednesday. I think he said he wants to say Mass in Fatima on Friday. So pray for him. The next point is just a point. It's not the sermon. At least I don't think it will become the sermon. And I have it on tape. I want it to be on tape, and I want it to be noted on tape that today is the 17th Sunday after Pentecost, and it is September the 27th, 1998. And I want this on tape. And if I sound disturbed, it's because I am disturbed. Some of you have been receiving a very nice-looking booklet concerning certain subjects. Certain subjects as about the Pope, plus or minus, about no salvation outside the church, about the baptism of water, and such like. Now, this little booklet happens to be put out by a close friend of ours and someone who we are trying to shelter. One well known to us, but a young boy who knows how to operate a computer. And today, if you, and any of you that know computers, I don't, I'm only quoting what somebody else has told me. If you push a certain button, you get 10,000 reasons why this is true. Things probably taken out of context. And this booklet is nothing in the world but a computer printout. That's all it is. It has all the reasons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, proving this point. Which if I, on the other hand, wanted to disprove everything this other book says, all I would have to do is push button number 2, and I would get as many reasons against everything number 1 said, enough to confuse the minds and thinkings of everybody. And when these things come out and are presented to people who are not as expert in the knowledge of things theological, when they read these things, they say, oh my, look at this. As a matter of fact, these same people who are disproving baptism of desire and baptism of blood, who are talking about no salvation outside the church, are also saying, believe me, hear me, are also saying that St. Thomas Aquinas is the father of all heretics. That's on tape. Now, they quote St. Bonaventure as having said that St. Thomas Aquinas is the father of all heretics. And St. Bonaventure said that. Yes, indeed, he said that. Taken out of context, of course. Now, St. Thomas Aquinas and St. Bonaventure were friends. And once upon a time, when St. Thomas Aquinas and St. Bonaventure, both of them theologians, got into a theological argument, St. Bonaventure said to St. Thomas, Thomas, you are the father of all heretics. And that's what they're quoting. As a matter of fact, and not to be funny, but it is funny, I'm constantly telling our Father Michael that if he had a brain, he'd be dangerous. Now, you could quote that about Father Michael, if you so chose to do, and put it in the annals of some place, and Father Michael will go down as somebody who ain't got any brains. You see how stupid it is. If Almighty God had intended that there's no salvation outside the church, taken as literally as these people insist, then Almighty God has predestined a vast majority of people to hell. And this is inconceivable, isn't it? I cornered one of these people once upon a time, and I said, according to your statement, I take it, I'd like to ask your opinion about the savages of Africa. The answer was, all this is on tape, folks. The answer was, the savages of Africa are essentially evil. Therefore, they are absolutely, all of them, going to hell. I says, okay, I wasn't arguing. I was just pushing the gentleman against the wall. He didn't know it. I says, what about the Muslims and the Hindus and the pagans? They are essentially evil. Therefore, they are all going to hell. He says, okay. This conversation did take place. And I said, what about the Protestants? Our Protestant friends, our Protestant families, etc., etc., and etc. He said, all Protestants are essentially evil. Therefore, all Protestants are going to hell. I will not go any further as far as you are concerned in the interrogation. But the interrogation did continue. And it ended up with the people that he was over, and I asked him, what about them? He says, they're going to heaven. See how utterly ridiculous. And as far as baptism of desire and baptism of blood, because they take this thing out of the scripture, unless you're baptized with water, you know our Lord's conversation, that you cannot enter heaven. What about all the martyrs? What about all the martyrs? And another point, as far as desire. We take it to the validity of the sacraments as far as desire goes. Suppose, for the sake of argument, and this is on tape, I'm reminding you of this. Suppose I am in a state of mortal sin. And it's a Saturday afternoon. And every Saturday, Father hears confessions from 4 to 6 in the church that I go to. I wish to go to confession. I desire to go to confession. So I get in my car for one reason and one reason only. And that is to go from my house to the church to go to confession. On the way there, the car hits me and I'm killed before I make it to the church. The answer to that is